Hello, and welcome to HIT 111, Implement and Customizing EHRs. Most of you have likely had me in the past from HIT 107, and so I just do this introductory YouTube to acquaint you with our course website in Moodle, as well as just take you into the software that we're going to be using to get you acquainted with it, which is EHR Go, previously referred to as Near Perfect. And it's an educational version of what the Veterans Administration actually uses as their EHR until they make some changes that are coming down the pike in the next few years. So the old name was CPRS. It was called Vista. And it's just important for you to get, exposed to different EHRs and health IT software in general. So this is what our website looks like. And so, again, most of you are familiar with my setup, and so the first thing I'd like to do is, you'll obviously be watching this YouTube that I'm doing right now, recording, and so let's go ahead and we'll just go into the syllabus and take a peek at that for starters. Let me open this up here. Alright, so same kind of setup as far as my syllabi. Here's my office hours, Monday and Wednesday on campus at 12:45 to 3:15. And of course, you all know I'm good about email, so any questions, feel free to email me. Here are the required materials that you need to get. It's just a license, and you can get that either at the bookstore or through EHR Go. And I have a student guide on the Moodle website, which I'll show you in just a minute, and it goes over how to contact them and that type of thing if you wish to go directly with them. And then just information here on Moodle, student code of conduct and academic integrity, resources on campus for Tutor Central, library hours, and the shed. Class participation. I think most of you have heard my spiel on online courses, but I do want to reiterate that in order to be successful, please do not wait until Sunday evening to go ahead and try to, get your work done. Try to get on multiple times each week. I'm typically posting something and you get those because they're a forced subscription. So I just think that, having a practice for success and getting on multiple times each week is really the way to go with online education and classes that you're taking online. Down below here are just our KHIM domains for competencies and listed the activities that you'll be doing. And then down below is learning outcomes. A little more on online attendance and methodologies, my grading policy, and then don't forget to scroll to the final pages, as are in all of my syllabi. And this is going to change. I've got things in here, but point values may change a little bit and stuff. So right now I'm still working on a few things. So I will update this. This point total is going to change. So just as I change it, I will reload it onto Moodle, so you'll be able to see the changes, and then I'll let you know that I've made changes. Okay, so that's the syllabi. And then the next thing I'd like to do is just go through my website. So I have the instructor announcement that I have for anything that I'm going to communicate. I'm done with a grading of an item. Student Connect and Course Question Forum I check regularly, and that's where you might want to post something relative to the class. If your matter is of a personal nature, then it's best to just email me. And then again, same thing here as far as resources, and then some course objectives, and then some general websites for the Office of the National Coordinator. And then HIMSS is a great organization, as well as AHIMA. I've been a member of both of them. And then this is kind of a nursey site, but it's got some good info in there. And then this particular PDF is just a slew of all sorts of things, historical resources and articles and websites that deal with going way back to the beginning of high tech and back in 2009 when the American Reinvestment and Recovery Act began and all the funding started happening for EHRs, and things were changing as far as electronic health records in general. All right, and then here is the first week, and generally set up in the same fashion. So I have here, please post your introduction on the self-introduction forum. I'm not going to take you in there and demonstrate that. I think you all are familiar with the forum by now. And then complete the assignments. And so I'm going to take you into EHR Go here in just a minute. So we have EHR Go orientation. And so you'll do that, and this is the link to take you into that. Then you'll have EHR documentation standards. and then you'll have a meaningful use essay to go ahead, and the instructions are right here when you click on that link. And then when you're done, you won't often do these progress reports, but in this particular first exercise, you are actually doing things in the patient's records, and so I just kind of want to see what it is that you've completed. So again, you won't have this particular PDF to submit each week. All right. One thing I forgot, I'm going to go back up here. Here is the EHR Go student guide. And if you need any information at all, and again, I suggest this is a must-read before you get going, but this is a PDF, and it has step-by-step instructions of things that you may need to take care of. So wanted to point that out. All right, let's go ahead, and I'm going to take you right into the opening screen for EHR Go. Okay, and this is kind of what it looks like. Now, when you go in, you're going to see this. Okay, and I'm just showing you what it looks like, because every time you go into an activity, it's going to be the same. You're going to have the Overview and Resources tab, the Launch, the EHR tab, and then the downloading of your work. And it is very explanatory with regards to how it explains things. So I'm just going to pull this document over here and slide this in here just for you to see this for a second. So it's very, very sequential, and it's just wonderfully laid out. So let me just show you what this will look like. And I'm just going to pull this out of the way for a second and show you that when you go down here, you're going to download this document that I'm just about to show you. And that's what you'll do for all your activities. Just be sure to scroll down, and you'll see the topic resources. Like, for example, in the documentation standards activity, which is the second one you're going to do in week 1, there's a document on cerebral palsy that you're going to have to take a look at, and a few other things. So you'll get familiar with this. But let me go ahead and show you exactly. Get this guy back up here. So this is what it looks like. So here's the first doc, and then here's your instructions. Tells you all about the activity, gives you some information there, and then, goes over what those 3 tabs, like I pointed out here. So these 3 tabs it discusses here. And then keep going, and then you launch the EHR, and then it starts to get into the questions, and you're actually working in the patient's chart. So who is Jane Shriver, and what's her medical record number, and blah, blah, blah. So these are wonderful, and they're all the way down. So the one thing I want to say about when you submit these activities, you can just type in here in this document and submit that. I'm also very, very okay with you just, like in this first activity, it's 30 questions ultimately when you finish it all. You can just type a Word document and put 1 to 30 and just put your answers in there. That's fine as well. So whatever you feel like you want to do when you're submitting. But that's essentially how it looks. I mean, it's really straight ahead. And so what I'm going to do now, I want to go back to Moodle, because I want to show you, once you get registered and everything's good and we're cruising along and life is good and the spring quarter has taken off, each week when you go here in Moodle, you can watch, okay? So I have URLs that take you right to that page. So here is the EHR Go orientation. So you can just click there, and lo and behold, it'll redirect you. And in my instance, it immediately defaults to faculty, but then it'll default right to that activity for you. So it's kind of cool. So it's a little more sexy and more graphical user interface than the old system, which was kind of bland. So this is going to be a lot nicer, and it's been updated. It's the first quarter that I'm using EHR Go, but it's good, and I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, so that's going through the website, and then I think the last thing that I want to just mention is, as you all know, one of my pet peeves is if you don't put your last name in your file name when you submit your work. And the reason I do require this is because you're all going to go into this field in some fashion. And it's just good file management hygiene. It deals with data integrity and data management and identifying your files appropriately and using some type of syntax that you do with all of your files. I just think is such a wonderful habit to develop. Okay, the last thing I wanted to point out under additional resources here, I know this is an hour long, but it's good. And of course, it's all about, the EHR strategy and meaningful use way back. And I like it anyway. So that I encourage you to look at that. ISO the International Organization for Standardization is just, wrought with things that apply to health information technology. So that's a link that you can check that out. And then, you're going to be doing some writing in this class. And again, this can be applied to other classes, but the writing lab from Purdue University is awesome. So whether it's APA format or MLA, or you want to look at how to cite something, that's a good link. Okay, I think I've covered what I want to and probably have forgotten something, but I look forward to seeing you next week virtually, and we'll have a fun quarter. All right, thank you.